Good morning, folks. Happy Wednesday. So I wanted to talk today again about chord melody solos. Can't stress enough how important it is to learn as many chord melodies as possible. And the best way to learn this is obviously to listen to the tune, but to buy books. Okay, so I didn't write the books and I'm not plugging them, but in a way, they've helped me. So I just recently uploaded a version of My One and Only Love, and I got this from a book by Bill Hart called The Complete Chord Melody Method. And it's got some pretty good step-by-step lessons, and there are 20 songs that are involved in this. And one of them is My One and Only Love that was written by, Guy Wood and Robert Mellon. So the song itself is on page 48. Some really great voicings. Like I said, best way to learn chord voicings is to learn chord melodies because you're learning a tune, but you're putting into a little bit of a context. That's how I learned to use 2-5-1 chord progressions, 1-4-5, all of that stuff. That stuff to me is all theory. It doesn't mean anything until I actually use it. And what best way to showcase, an actual chord or chord progressions than within the context of learning a tune and learning those grips. Two things I got out of this. One was a beautiful voicing for A minor ninth, and the other one was a nice turnaround that I believe is in, I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's in the eighth measure. It's a beautiful series of chord voicings that move down chromatically. E minor 7, E flat 7, D minor 11, and D7 flat at fifth. I just love it. So let's first look at the A minor ninth that I got out of this. And that one there's a lot of A minor ninths in here. So that is in like measure 6 or so. So in any event, so A minor ninth looks like this that I love. I love it because of the stretchiness of it. All right, so you see that? Beautiful chord. So you got the A, you got the G, you got the F sharp, you got the C. What I love about it is the openness of it. It just sounds really nice. Now you could play it where instead of having this open A, you fret this here. You have to have good fingers or long, stretchy. I'm double jointed, so I can do stuff like this. So it looks. So that's a beautiful voicing that I learned and I use a lot. And I got that from that. So now the other part, which is that measure 8, it's a walk down, and it's basically a walk down using E minor 7th to E flat 7 to a D minor 11th to a D7 flat at 5th. The reason I call this a walk down because the root or the bass notes are just basically okay, so okay, beautiful chords. E minor 7th, E flat 7, D minor 11th, and D flatted 7 flat at 5th. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so these are the kinds of things you learn when you learn these chord melody solos and stuff. And the other thing that I work on when I do this is again, never really play the stuff exactly the way it's written. So for example, the opening, it's a ballad, obviously. And the opening chords, the way he does it, or Bill Hart, the way he arranges it, is a C major 7th, right? So you got this C major 7th. This is just the opening up to a B minor 7. So C major 7th, B minor 7th to A minor 11th. And then A minor 9th. So Okay? So right there, you've got about 4 chords underneath your hands. And the other thing is work on your technique when you play these songs. So he's got them written this way, but you can arpeggiate it. So instead of arpeggiate it, so my right hand, and then this is nice. I didn't even go over this one. This is an F. I call this is the Jimmy chord. So that's an F7 sharp 9th. First jazz chord most rock guitarists learn. So anyway, you get the idea. Lots and lots to chew on. It's on page 48 of that book. This is not intended to be an analysis of it. It's just the way I schlep through things, and this is the way I actually learn chords. And so the other thing is I always say to people, knowledge is important. Nobody just starts playing without some kind of little bit of foundation, but yeah, playing music shouldn't be like learning an algorithm or learning mathematics. But if you're good at math or science, some of this stuff should probably come a little bit more intuitively. But don't be afraid of the numbers. When somebody says D flat 7 flatted, what is that chord? D flat 7 flatted 5th. Remember, 5th is just the 5th note of the scale, and then that you might know something. So D flat 7, you might have learned this in the chord book. Just learn where the 5th is. This is the 5th. All we're doing is flatting the 5th. So this is a D flat 7, and then flat the 5th. This thing becomes this. So it looks like this. All right. That's where the left and right side of the brain start getting together. So learn what you're playing and stuff. And then another thing is like that beautiful little turnaround that I talked about. I don't want to be all over the place. That E minor 7, E flat 7, D minor 11 to D flat 7, flatted 5th. Woo. Now, what's consonant or what's the same in all this notes? So you got all this thing going down. This right here, this G. So this G is a common tone to all 4 of those chords. So you've got this E minor 7th, this G, then you got this E flat 7, this G, then you've got this D minor 11th, this G, then you've got the last chord, which is this D flat 7 flatted 5th. Okay? It's stuff like that once you start putting it together, that'll help you become a better musician. And the reason to me that's important to a listener is that we like familiarity. So as much as jazz players are all over the place, there is some logic to the way that somebody decides to arrange a tune or the notes that they decide. Because there's a lot of different voicings that you can have. That's the beauty and the horror of the guitar, is that you could have chosen a lot of different minor 7ths to play, but this maintains that G almost like as a pedal tone to all these different chords. All right, so there you have it. There's a lot in this, but there's one song. There is a lot in chord melody playing. You can take a song, deconstruct it, and that is one of the best ways to learn and master the guitar, is going through it slowly and patiently. None of this stuff is edited. This is what I go through when I try to learn it. So if you see me playing a song, say, oh, you got that. I try not just to copy something or learn it. Try to think about what I'm playing. Because then if you do that and you actually learn it that way, you can reuse it and it becomes part of your own style. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry for the long video. Practice, practice, practice.